I'm Kellen Kautzman, owner of Send It Rising. Hello to Kristen, who just joined us. There's a few things I want to accomplish today. Obviously, I'm going to give you my best understanding of how you can show up in Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT, etc. So we'll go over that in detail. But also, it's been my experience as a business owner that it's always good to connect with folks and network. And so if you are open to it, feel free to leave your email, your name, and your company in chat right now, and you can see everyone else, what they're up to. And then if you want to do a one-to-one with that person later, you certainly can. This is something we're going to be doing every month. So if you're interested in staying up to date with everything that's going on with marketing and you want to join us once monthly, just throw your email into chat and we will make sure that you get that information. So the last 20 years, almost every conversation I've had with clients is always, why am I not ranking as well as I should be? Why are they ranking better than me? How do I get more clicks to my website? And for the first time in about 2 decades, that conversation has now changed. And so the Google AI overview that we are seeing and leads from ChatGPT are now it's everything that people will talk about, all of my clients. And so thank God, because the number of times that I have gone over that link building conversation, I'm over it. So I'm very excited for this new reality. We're going to talk about a gentleman by the name of Pedro Diaz. He did something that you might think is a little unethical, but I want you to stick around. So I'm going to tell you about Pedro in about 5 minutes. So this screen, which you're going to have a hard time seeing because it is pretty small, I'll explain it to you. The first column says company, and these are different companies that we have. The third column says the source, and these are phone calls. So for the first time, we've seen an increase in ChatGPT leads. So in that third column, you can see that we've logged, this is probably like 20 calls from ChatGPT. We have the name of the person who called, how long the call lasted, their phone number, etc. And so this isn't theoretical. This isn't, hey, maybe one day we're going to start getting leads from Gemini and ChatGPT and Claude, etc. It's happening today. This is CallRail. If you're unfamiliar with CallRail, it's a call tracking software. You can look it up. Let me know in chat if you guys are using CallRail. Also, shout out to Annalisa for putting her email in there. I appreciate that. Again, if you want to meet someone today and build a relationship with another human being, put your name, put your email into chat so that you can connect and see what everyone else is up to. So ChatGPT leads are real. They're turning into money. So traditional SEO to what is called GEO, how you're showing up in Gemini, Claude, LLMs. LLM obviously is an acronym for large language models. Here's the big shift. In the early days of SEO, everyone was trying to cheat. So you'd have a big black block of just nothing, but you'd hover over it and it was just keywords. They would just fill it with keywords. And then there was this thing called article spinning where you would like randomize articles, but it was like enough and enough content going out that all of a sudden you'd get Google's attention. The world of getting backlinks, everyone was obsessed with getting backlinks. And a lot of people did what's called black hat methodology, which is they would just find different ways to sort of kind of cheat the system. Guess what's happening now? A whole bunch of people are going to be trying to cheat this new GEO system. So we'll talk about what they're doing and we'll talk about the right way of doing it. So essentially, the big shift now is that we want to come up with what I call the 5 facts, right? Every business has 5 facts about them. So for example, if I had to come up with 5 facts about McDonald's, I might say they're in like 80% of the United States, like in every town, right? What else? They're probably in the bottom 25% of affordability in terms of like how cheap they are. And I sort of struggle to come up with more facts. The difference between SEO and GEO is SEO doesn't care at all about facts. It just, who cares? But GEO is looking to cite actual statistics. And if you say these statistics on, let's say, just your website, that's like moderate trust. So if you say, for example, a fact about your business might be, we do 24/7, 365 emergency plumbing, right? That could be a fact. Or you're a personal injury attorney and the fact could be our average settlement is this. And you dive even further and you can go, our average settlement for a slip and fall is this. Our average settlement for a car wreck is this. And you start creating these facts about your business and then you proliferate those on social media. That's the general big shift here. And instead of people being obsessed about how many links can I get back to my website, the question now is how ubiquitous, how common can I make these facts around the internet? So if you can get it into a subreddit, that's a huge deal. If you can get it onto LinkedIn, which we'll talk about, and it's a lot easier than people think. You can go into like a Facebook group and just talk about it. So no longer do we have this need to constantly be linking. And if you have any experience with this, trying to get your SEO up over like the last couple of decades, all these groups are hypersensitive to links. They're like, no links, don't accept links, don't link, but it doesn't matter anymore. This is the big aha moment, right? Just talk about what you do in a friendly and helpful way that is fact driven, and that is the primary way that you're going to get cited. Good example of that I'll talk about in a minute. We have a new client, Integrity Plumbing. They found us on ChatGPT, and we are known in ChatGPT for a few things that I'll dive into in a minute. But essentially, facts, five facts, five facts. All right, so these are the 5 steps we're going to go over to. Again, Kenneth, God bless Kenneth, for throwing his email into chat there. If you haven't put your email in chat yet, please consider it. We're building a community here. This isn't a one and done. I hope to build a relationship with you, right? And your name, your company, and your email. So let's actually build something together here. I used to be a teacher, so I want to build a legitimate community. All right, so the 5 things we're going to go over today. There's something called a digital noun. It's a fancy way of saying your brand. Step 2 is called LLM bait, which is essentially these facts that you're putting all over the internet. Step 3 is, does anyone actually agree with you? Human consensus. Step 4 is a little bit of the technical stuff that you can do on your website to improve things. And then last is obviously video, which is ubiquitous and really important. Okay, so this is what a lot of my businesses sound like. So this is not Usain Bolt. This is Usain Bolt's cousin. Anyway, so here he is initiating the full speed bipedal kinetic deployment advantage. And when you look at most blogs nowadays, they all sound like this because facts are difficult and fluffy language is easy, right? So you can break this entire slide down into Usain Bolt holds the world record for the 100 meters at 9.58 seconds. That's the difference, right? Everyone knows what he holds the world record for the 100-meter dash at 9.58 seconds means. Gemini knows what that means. It understands the whole context of that. So for example, if you've got 5 stars or 4.9 stars across every single review platform, obviously that's a huge social signal. That's data. You can create using AI, like, no, it's not case studies. It's like what you would do is you would go and you would say, okay, for my business, what is the average cost? What do people typically charge? And then you would create a study about how you're 20% more affordable for the same thing or better. Does that make sense? Keep prompting AI. You come up with a study. You put that study on your website, the data. Same service, 20% cheaper. Here's the data. It goes on Facebook. It goes on LinkedIn. It goes on Instagram. You talk about it in your YouTube channel. That becomes one of your 5 facts. You see what I mean? And then before you know it, when people start searching for who is your business, who are they, whatever, that fact is just going to keep hitting people over the head. And that's a huge advantage. If someone reads that you're the same service, 20% cheaper, there you go. So an example of what this looks like, on the left-hand side, we have, in today's fast-paced digital environment, seamless communication is more crucial than ever. Our revolutionary platform bridges the gap between teams, fostering productivity and empowering enterprise growth. It's like, I can't even get to the end of this sentence without already just like glossing over. As opposed to Acme Sync is an automated workflow tool that synchronizes project tasks between Slack and Jira. So this is who we are. This is what we do. It reduces manual status updates by 80%. And there's your fact number. You see what I mean? So as I'm talking, I want you just to start to think about what are these 5 facts that my business could put out there that if someone knew them and actually internalized it, they would be way more likely to reach out to me, want to talk to me, potentially become a customer. Now, not only is it good for the customer if they see it, but this is what Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, LLMs are going to be pulling when people are searching for what it is you do. All right, so a little bit of self-reflection. I'm not perfect. I've got 3 kids. I'm busy. I got stuff going on. This is what ChatGPT thinks about my company right now. So they think we're a digital marketing agency in Vegas, that these are facts. These are all true, founded in 2015. That's a fact. Providing online marketing, sure. Web development, yeah, great. This is just a very general overview. There's nothing in this that's like they're better than their competition. Do you see what I mean? So I'm not coming to you today saying, "Oh, I've got it all figured out and we're crushing over here." But this is a good start. So if you haven't ChatGPT'd yourself, Gemini'd yourself, this is a great way to figure out sort of where it's pulling its data and understanding why it thinks what it thinks. And then at the very top, you can see it says Design Rush +1. So at least in Gemini, it'll give you the links to where it's pulling that data. So you may or may not be familiar. So like I click on Design Rush, it takes me here. You may or may not know that this website exists. You may or may not have a login to it, and you may or may not be able to change it. Like literally, this says unclaimed profile. So when you start digging into what LLMs think about your brand, you're going to end up places where there's work to be done. So like literally claim profile, claim the profile, go in, and then you start adding your 5 FAQs because you already know that it's using this. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, so am I, right? Like there's this work is never going to end. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. But everyone else is also feeling the same level of overwhelm. Here's the other link that it takes me to. So it's pulling from those 2 links. That's why it thinks what it thinks. So obviously Google ranking was the big obsession for 20 years. I looked up what is a good SEO company in Las Vegas, because again, that's what people typically know us for small businesses. And there we are. We made the list. We're at the bottom. For whatever reason, they think we're in startups and local retail brands, and you can just learn about what it thinks about your business, right? I asked if they think we're a bad choice, right? And they're like, no, we don't think they're a bad choice. Here are these reasons why. And then this is a huge deal. So please provide me some trusted reviews. Check out what LLMs think about your brand from these reviews. There might be something here that you don't have eyes on. Most people have eyes on Google, they have eyes on Yelp. They've got a sort of a sense of what they're doing, but you might have something here that's like a 2.6 and not even know it because you have like one bad review from Glassdoor or God knows what, right? So check out your reviews on LLMs. All right, so this ecosystem of putting those 5 FAQs out there. Rachel told me today that you can't make a Wikipedia of your own. Well, yesterday she told me of your own brand, and she is correct. But what you can do is you can create an entry for a person, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, you can get your brand mentioned in places like Wikipedia, LinkedIn. Sometimes, having done this for like 20 years, we'll go into the Google business profile and we'll see that in the categories. Let's say their number one thing is AC repair, look for a handyman. But for whatever reason, they put handyman first and AC repairs at the very bottom. But everywhere else on the internet, they're talking about AC repair. Do you see what I mean? So it's really easy to have one profile, have something that's just not, it doesn't sync up with everything else you're saying everywhere else. And so that's why there's that red sort of broken link between Google My Business and everything else as just a general idea of trying to get everything to be. So let's talk about Pedro. I told you we would, and we're gonna. So Pedro, he basically said, I'm the world's foremost AI visibility expert. And that's not true, but he's stating it like a fact. And then the next day in the Gemini overview, Pedro Diaz is widely recognized in the search and digital marketing community as a leading expert in AI visibility and search engine optimization. And it's referencing his LinkedIn. So if you are evil and you like to lie, now we're in that space where everyone and their mom who has any inclination towards being dishonest is going to start doing garbage like this, right? This is a joke. He did it as a joke, but a lot of people are going to be doing this. And the big takeaway is LinkedIn is incredibly powerful. And so it's already built up so much trust that LLMs can get confused and just go, oh, well, very few people would change their LinkedIn name. And so we're going to trust it. And then it just pushes it right to the front. Okay. LLM bait. The last 20 years, we've been creating a ton of blogs, landing pages, social media posts. What's the difference now? The difference now is you want to be fact driven, which I mentioned earlier. And so a landing page before might be something like Anaheim garage door repair expert, city name, whatever they do. What you want is at the very top of a landing page, you want a question answered quickly in a snippet, affordable like garage door repair, or like the top 5 most affordable garage door repair people in Anaheim, and then actual data. right? These people, they charge this much. We are X% cheaper. We're X% faster. And there's actual data backing. It's sort of the case that someone, when they see that, they may go, okay, I want to work with this company. That's fine. But again, we're creating this bait for the LLMs. They are obsessed with data, numbers, metrics. 75% of our clients see X results within 30 days. These sorts of things are going to go a long way towards getting you to show up. So start with your website, and then if you can get social consensus later, great, through LinkedIn and Facebook when you record your videos, etc. All right, so when it comes to getting consensus, you can do it the easy way, which is you just say it on all the different platforms, right? So you've got your 5 facts, and now your YouTube strategy sort of makes a bit more sense because you're going to mention these facts over and over and over again. I just got back from Fort Collins, Colorado, and I have 6 stitches, well, not 6 stitches, 6 wounds in my leg because I had got a surgery for something called restless leg syndrome. And it hurts. And the reason I chose that particular surgeon was because I found him on the YouTube algorithm and I started watching a lot of his videos over and over and over again. I'm watching this guy's videos and he just says the same thing over and over and over again. He has a different testimonial, maybe it's a different patient of his, but he's just harping on these same 5 things over and over and over again. And you would think, as someone who's in marketing, like I'd sort of be like, yeah, he's just repeating the same. No, I watched probably like 30 of his videos because for me, surgery is it's scary, right? I want to know that he knows what he's doing. I'm concerned, and watching these videos makes me feel better. So if you're like a real estate agent, you know what I mean? Like someone picking, that's the biggest purchase any of us ever make in our entire lives. Most people, right? It's a huge deal. A lot of you are selling things that aren't, it's not small potatoes. Like if you're selling a garage door, like that could be, 8,000, 12,000 bucks. Like you want to watch, you want to feel better about it. It used to be the case that we would turn on the TV. I don't know how old you are, but you turn on the TV, you'd see the same commercial 15 times. You're like, this is so annoying. So it's hard for us as marketers to sort of like get over the fact that we have to be a bit repetitive. But if you can find those 5 facts about your business that are really, really strong, you start doing that today. I'm telling you, like Blue Link Land, this whole Google thing that we've been all like thinking, was going to stick around forever. I give it to the end of the year, year, 2 years, whatever. Everyone's going to be talking to their phone. So just it's over. Thank God, because it's lasted like 20 years. So if you're really good and really good at what you do, you're going to get some of this organic stuff on subreddits. You can go to Facebook groups, engage with people, and get the community to sort of like agree with some of those 5 facts that you got going on. And even if they say things that are bad about you, you are getting mentioned, and that's going to help because no business is perfect. On the technical side, one of the things that will help you show up in ChatGPT, LLMs, etc., is to put a really quick snippet at the top of your content. So if it's a blog or a landing page, you want to give the LLM the takeaway as quickly as possible. It's like, what's the question? What's the answer? And then you can go into just the 600-word blog, whatever. But at the very top, make it very easy. Make it an H1, bold it, make it big so that anyone skimming the article gets their answer right away. Nobody is reading anything anymore, right? Nobody's reading your blog post. They're skimming your social media post at best. Most people skip a YouTube video in like the first 15 seconds, well, almost 3 seconds. If it's a short, 2 seconds, you'd be lucky. And so stop trying to get people to invest more time. Give them what they want right away. So at the top of your content, what is it? How much does it cost? That big bold, and then you can go and you can ramble incoherently after that if you'd like. I get that you want to, but it's going to make it way more likely that you show up in LLMs. Also, I don't know if anyone has any. Oh, Kenneth. Shout out to Kenneth putting his crafty concepts. Have you all heard about crafty concepts? He's got his LinkedIn right there. You should be so lucky as to get to have a one-to-one with Kenneth. I'm just saying. Kenneth is my third cousin, by the way. Unleash the power of YouTube. Transcripts to let your spoken voice rank. Yeah. So again, if you've got your 5 facts, you may not like it, but you just keep hitting them over the head with those 5 things. You want to be entertaining. You want to be interesting. You want to create something called a curiosity gap, where in the first 3 seconds, there's a reason for them to listen for the next 45, right? Drop a plate. Throw something. You know what I mean? Like throw your phone up in the air, catch it, and then say something. Like do something, but then it can just be the same old thing. It can be like, look, we did a study and we are 20% whatever than these people for these reasons. God bless you, bye. Right? This is where it gets a little bit dicey. So the Mr. Beast philosophy is only create content that's really high quality, spend all of your time making your content the best thing that anyone's ever seen. And then there's something called reality. So I've been doing this for a long time. Plumbers, not famous. Electricians, not famous. Personal injury attorneys, you see their billboards, but they're not famous. So you have to ask yourself a question. Am I trying to be famous or am I trying to convert a customer? Right? Because if you're trying to be famous, go ride a T-Rex somewhere and then like prank someone in a Walmart. You know what I mean? But if you're trying to play this game, it's just a different game. I'm less concerned nowadays with someone going to your YouTube and seeing like 10,000 views because you're so funny, right? I've worked with a lot of clients and they tend not to be very entertaining people, right? Like business owners, they're stressed, they got a million things going on. They don't want to sit there and think about a YouTube video for 2 hours a day. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's just maybe you're that person, right? And you're super funny and you're super charismatic. That's cool. But for most people over the years, that's just not the case. So if that's your reality, and it probably is, you just want those 5 facts and you want to be like, hey, just a reminder, we are 20% better, right? And you hit them over. We Christmas Day, we will come fix your plumbing problem. Do you see what I'm saying? Let's say one of your facts is we are 24/7, 365, which you may go, Kellen, you're insane. I don't want to do that. It's called work-life balance. Fine. Probably sacrificed a lot to get to the world record, right? There's no getting away from like doing things better than other people. So if you are actually better than other people, if you are willing to sacrifice more, your facts about your business are going to be more compelling, right? So let's just use the example of, let's say we will come out and we will fix your 24/7, 365, right? So then you could do an entire YouTube series about that. You could be like, hey, it's Christmas. I'm here with my kids. But if someone's pipe broke, you know what I mean? And that's your video. And that could go viral and that could be exciting because it's different and you're showing that, you're really there for people. And it's probably not even you, the business owner, it's probably someone that you're employing that just works that day, right? But that's the idea. Keep harping the same 5 points. What are your 5 points? That's what I hope you do today after this call. I hope you think about it and you go, okay, here are the 5 facts about my business that I'm going to throw out there. All right. Big takeaway is not one of these things is going to do it, right? You have one piece of the puzzle, 3 pieces of the puzzle. It's the whole thing. You know what I mean? You got to be blogging, you got to be doing social media the right way. You got to be posting all different social media. You got to be creating content. It can be the same video, that's fine. And then the one thing I haven't mentioned yet is I think we're going to see one more general page on websites, and that's the stat page. So right now we have home, about us, contact, maybe gallery, just the general stuff. I think there's going to be a stat page and it's going to be specific for LLMs because the LLMs want these stats. 20% this, 10% that, 9% this. Don't get stressed out about doing a study about your business. Just go to Gemini and be like, I want to do a study about my business. Give me the average price of people in my industry, how long it takes them to do it, whatever. And then just do your own internal study and be like, we looked at everybody and we're 10% faster, 20% cheaper. And that's your thing. And if anyone's like, well, prove it, you're like, look, here's all the data, right? There it is. Like, you can like fight with that data all you want, but that's what Gemini said, and I believe it, and that's the end of that story, right? Okay, we are getting close to the end. Shout out to Kristen Perry Robinson, my fourth cousin, for throwing her email in there. We appreciate you. All right, now that things have changed, keyword stuffing so stupid, so obvious. Don't just spam keywords, super dumb. Generic AI content that's just like that, like 800 words that doesn't focus around something that an LLM would actually be interested in. So if there's no number or there's no like, what's a good example of a good piece of content versus a bad piece of content? So like if I made a page like GEO, which is what we're talking about, GEO for dermatologists in Las Vegas, that still works because if a dermatologist comes to my page and they're looking not for SEO, they're looking for GEO, and the whole page is about how we can help dermatologists, that's hyper specific, that works. But like 3 ways to unclog your drain. Like, so dumb. It's been done like a bajillion times. Pointless. And then nobody wants this to be true, but ignoring communities is not a good look. Reddit is really hard, but it is possible. LinkedIn, you can get in, do posts, you can hop in, you can leave comments. Super easy. Facebook groups, leave comments. The problem is, unless you've got your 5 facts sort of figured out, you don't really know where you're aiming, like where you're trying to get in there. And so you'll find subtle and interesting ways to be a real human, actually interact with other human beings using the internet, but also like build that foundation of like what makes your business good. All right, so this is essentially what I just got done talking about in terms of blogs, landing pages. Rachel, I don't know how many service pages she's done, probably like 600. They still work. You can still create a page that's like, we do this service in this place. That's fine. Because if someone lands on it, it makes them feel good. That is a fact, right? Like we do garage door repair in Anaheim. That's fine. And then let's see, last but not least, facts, brands, community activity. I'd love to, if anyone has a fact about their business they want to put in the chat right now, I'd love to see that. And like I said, we're going to be doing this every month. If you haven't already put your information, oh, Annalisa coming in with what you got? Goblin Labs? I want to learn more about have y'all heard about Goblin Labs? Very popular. Annalisa. We're new. So I'm gonna unmute some folks. Rachel, how many folks do we have in the meeting right now?
About 16.
That's great. So let's start unmuting everybody, right? If it gets loud and weird, you can start muting people again. But we're going to be doing this every month. If you put your email in, we'll send you another email for next month. If you want to connect with somebody, you've got their email in chat there. And at this point, I can start doing an example of someone in chat if you want me to. If anyone wants me to take a look at their business in real time, I can go over it and we can see if we can improve it. Oh, final thing. I didn't like promote us yet. I'm Kellen. If you're interested in us doing a free AI audit for you, potentially working with you, interested in GEO or SEO or any things we talked about, send us an email at info@senditrising.com. If you put your email into chat, we're not going to blow you up with sales stuff. We're just going to keep inviting you to this, right? Once monthly thing. That's what that newsletter is for. But if you are interested in like talking with me or my team about marketing your business, send us an email at info@senditrising.com with the subject marketing plan. And I know it sounds like I'm trying to like pitching you something, but we're probably going to spend 2 hours on it. It's no joke. Like we will sit down and we will actually put something together. So if you're interested in that, shoot us an email over there. Oh,
So
if you want to unmute. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'd love to hear from someone. Is anyone interested in us pulling up their website and going through and taking a look?
I do. I say if you can check my Facebook.
Oh, okay. So Blanca, let's learn a little bit more about Blanca here. All right. So Rachel, you're gonna have to help me out because I want to make sure that my share. So I'm just gonna go to full screen here. All right, I'm gonna share my desktop. All right, can you see my full desktop now, Rachel?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So let's actually start with Gemini. So Blanca, tell me a little bit more about your business. What do you do?
I am a realtor
Okay.
in Louisiana, especially my office is in Metairie, close to New Orleans, and I serve all the surrounding areas. I am not only residential, but I am also a commercial realtor. I consider myself a motivator and influencer here in my community, and I love to do training classes, motivational speak. So that's kind of what I do. I have probably like 6,500 followers and friends on my page.
Yeah. So
Um,
let me stop you there, Blanca. Thank you. So Blanca Johnson, right? I got your name
yes.
correct.
Yeah,
Lives in New Orleans. She is a residential and commercial realtor. So I'm just gonna see if Gemini knows who you are. Have you done this before?
not consistently, but I think that there was one point in time that I wanted to see what was my market.
Are you with Keller Williams?
Yes, I am.
Beautiful. So here we go. We got Keller Williams. They know your brokerage. So realtor.com is the big one, right? Can you get into this realtor.com account? Do you know anything about this?
Yes.
Okay, great. Oh, so here we go. Spanish and Italian. I love that. So those are 2 facts about you that are really interesting that could help. Do you have a website?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what's your website?
Uh, That
BlancaJohnson.kw.
.com.
Com. All right. We'll take a quick look. If someone else wants me to do this as well, let me know. I want to give Blanca some love, but I also am interested in working with some other folks here. So this is very common for realtors is they're given this like it's called a subdomain. So blancajohnson.kw.com. Can you put your social media on this? Is this your real social media down here?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. All right. So here you go. It's easy to find. I'm not trying to like put you under the spot, but this link, right? Take a look at this Facebook link here and try to link that up, Blanca. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that
So
one
I
didn't
have to
work. No, no, you're fine. Don't, again, I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No,
I
no,
really,
no. It's because I know that they have been doing, I
uh,
have in both. I do because I'm
and
bilingual.
yeah.
So I post in Spanish one group, but now I'm putting, if you want your own language, then, go to my page.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so a lot of this is true. So homes.com, realtor.com. I'm trying to think, is there anything about like do you have the number of homes that you sold in a given area anywhere?
Yes, I mean, I have to update it, but yes, I have tracks all over my office because sometimes it's too many. And
Right. So I wonder, so that would be my big thing for you, right? So like for your next shorts, I would maybe even just show in your office, like, hey, like, because I think this looks like a listing to me.
yes, that was one of my listings.
A listing. And so, yeah, we want to be, like I'm not sure if you've done a, hey, I just sold this for this amount of money in this neighborhood. Have you done that?
No, you mean a short?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Yeah, so that would be a good next step for you. Like, hey, let's go through the homes I've sold this year, right? I sold them in this area. I sold them for this much money, right? And then that will help this be a little bit better. Because when I look at this right now, there's nothing in here that talks about like how many you sold, like the price range that you sold. It does mention kind of where you've done it, but that would be a good next step for you.
All right.
Cool. All right, who else we got in chat? Annalisa, you want to talk? Use goblin.xyz. I want to see use goblin.xyz.
Yeah,
You,
thank you so much for taking a look. I have so much commentary, but I just got started with them,
oh, this
so
is very interesting. All right, so AI
thank you.
agents that feel like people. For businesses, we build branded agents that replace complex websites. Customers say what they need and get it done instantly. So, stuff like this, my main concern is always, I don't know what you're talking about. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes,
yeah,
I'm on the
right?
same page.
What do you mean? And there's like an
Yeah,
alien, and the
yeah.
alien is giving me vibes. I'm like, what is up with the alien? All right, so these are AI people that are talking to just like anybody, the
Well,
customers.
yeah, our development team is quite young. They're all fresh out of college, so they're having a lot
Wow.
of fun building out the
Sure.
avatars and personas.
Yeah.
But I would love to no, I completely agree. This is too much. This is really confusing. And based on what you've shared in your presentation, this is not, I don't feel like there's much structure. I recently discussed our press and media kit, so I'm grateful that I'm headed in the right direction when it comes to getting more press coverage. It sounds like that's a good way for the GEO, but maybe you have experience. How do I talk to my dev team and tell them like this is not where it's a great product concept idea, but this is not our forefront thing, and what can we do to kind of showcase our talents without all of this
Well,
cut?
first of all, the aliens got to go. That reminds me of something like a 20-year-old would do, right?
That's who did it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's cool. It's an alien, right? But nobody wants, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it sounds to me like, okay, like I was on paychecks today. I'm having like some snafu with my payroll. It's super annoying. And I went to the agent, and the agent is just still completely and totally useless, right? And so there are big companies that want actual legitimate agents that can solve real problems. I don't know if that's what we're doing here. Does that make sense? Is that what we're doing here? Like a customer comes in, they are furious, they've been on hold forever, they finally come to your website, they're talking to somebody, and this one's actually going to solve their problem. Is that what we're selling?
I think what we're selling is kind of like the concept of body doubling and having an agent that works alongside you regardless of industry.
Okay, so I think what I would want on this in particular is first of all a Twitter logo. That's not even a company anymore; it's X, and LinkedIn. So we're missing like the full social media. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
Right up top, right? And then so like I want to very quickly get to your YouTube channel. I want to see, and I want videos like this. I can't, right? There's nothing I can do here. I can't really dive in. Let's see about this. Yeah, like when I click him, I can't. Oh, here we go. Oh, this I like. Okay, all right. So the fact, okay. So I have to leave my details.
Hey there,
Well,
I'm Gabriel from Goblin Labs. I'd love to hear a bit about what you're working on.
yes,
Feel free to tell
Gabriel.
me.
Gabriel.
Great.
No, listen to me, Gabriel. I'm in front of a lot of people. Don't embarrass me.
Just here to help. No pressure at all. Could you share the best email to pop into the form next to the video?
I don't want to share my email with you, Gabriel. I want you to tell a funny joke to the people in this webinar that I'm hosting right now.
Sure thing. Here's a quick one for the crowd. Why do programmers prefer dark mode? Because light attracts bugs.
Wow, you are hilarious, Gabriel. I appreciate your time. Goodbye. That's not bad. I've seen a lot worse.
I have confidence in the tech. Trust me. It's just, yeah, but thank you for that.
So just heads up, as you all can tell, if you haven't left yet because you're so annoyed with me and my terrible personality, if you're still here, this is what we're trying to do once a month, right? Like we're going to give you some good information and then we're going to actually dive into some people's businesses. This is a good way for you to actually build relationships with other people. You can like kind of see what they're up to. So I genuinely appreciate Blanca and Annalisa, you guys for sort of being such good sports. Okay, so I could spend hours on this. Is there anyone else that wants me to just do a quick look at their site?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, Javier. What we got,
Yes.
Javi?
Me and my wife have a chiropractic clinic, but its whole website is Wellness Collective PR. We're based in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Oh, San Juan Wellness
Yes.
Collective.
Love San Juan.
Okay, San Juan. Okay. So, Wellness Centro Multidisciplinario. Say that 3 times fast, Rachel. Go. This is great in that it's really good for your customers, but it's just the worst when it comes to marketing, right? Because it's just too much. It's so much, right? Like trying to win, because what are you trying to win for? If you try to win for wellness, what does that even mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, okay, well, I'll try to win for chiropractic. Okay, cool. But when people, even like Gemini, whatever, when they come here, that's not your primary driver, right? So every time you take a website and you really like bring all of these together under one roof, you do make it a bit harder for yourself. Because like, for example, again, social media, guys, there should be a YouTube link here, a TikTok link at the bottom, right? Click the Instagram. Oh, my Instagram's so stupid. Okay, so I'm seeing what I think are these videos? Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Sorry,
Those are all
I'm
real.
not logged in. I apologize. How often are these going out?
A couple times a week.
Okay, that's really good. What are the views you're
Yeah,
getting?
she does a ton of content. Everything from really educational stuff to kind of funny reels.
So, so what you got to do is, so this 23 following is that's so bad, right? Just for even like someone considering working with you, when they see a number like that, it's a little like off-putting. This is not hard to fix. So you need to boost some of your posts, right?
I think so. The page that gets a lot more followers and a lot more activity is her page, her doctor page, instead of the clinics.
That's what I was going to say. The clinic is going to be a rough marketing journey. What's her doctor page?
I think it's on the clinic page.
Where?
No, on the Instagram.
Oh, I see.
On the clinic's Instagram should be
here,
her
maybe?
doctor page.
I don't want to spend too much time trying to find it, but so yeah, the clinic stuff, it can be a little rough, but let's learn just a little bit. Let's see what it thinks about it, because you can win this battle. It's just going to be harder.
Yeah.
Who are these people? Where are they? What do they do? All right. So we've got Natalia Ortega, founder and sports chiropractor. Sports chiropractor. That's interesting. Primary care and aesthetic physician. It looks like there's no links here, which I find interesting, right? So typically it's usually the case that it's pulling this information from somewhere. I think the information about this is probably just on the website, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so basically my homework for you would just be like the 5 facts we were talking about. Do each of these have a website?
No, just the clinic's website, and that's it. Each of them have their own like Instagram profile, but not a dedicated website for each.
Okay, and then
the way we act is, so we own the clinic and we sublease the spaces for the MD and the esthetician.
I see. And you're the chiropractor?
Yes.
Okay, so this
Natalia is. Yeah, that's her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this makes way more sense. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you're doing a good job on this Instagram for sure. Are all of these also on YouTube and TikTok? You don't have to start it. You just take the same videos.
Yeah, we've been told that. She hasn't started posting them up on YouTube and there's no LinkedIn. So listening to you before, I really think she needs to, work on a LinkedIn and post all the reels and everything and comment on different, athletic trainers or a little bit more known people and commenting. And then the YouTube definitely needs to be either upload shorts, the same reels but as shorts, or something that gets her presence up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm on the backstage. I helped her build it, and I'm as much as possible learning to help her out with this stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you can do for something like this is you can break it down. You just put a little link here in the bottom that says articles, just like we did here. Here it says articles. You click on it and you just break it down by service provider and then like what they do. So for example, hers, if I can ever find it again, probably not. Hers, you could do it like by sport, right? Like what's a good chiropractor for like tennis elbow, good chiropractor for sciatica, good chiropractor for like soccer injuries, like, does that make sense?
Yeah, she was a college athlete for track and field and what was it, decathlon or anyways, a multi-sport in track and field.
Yep.
And that's what she specializes on mostly right now, on track and field athletes, runners, jumpers, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
Few volleyball athletes.
Right. So I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't see a page for that.
No.
Do you see what I mean?
There's a dedicated page for the sports part of it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about, right? So maybe that's one of the 5 facts, which is she was an athlete, right? She specializes in athletic specific da 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 da, and then that becomes your YouTube, right? Your Instagram, your TikTok, but also service pages here, and then all aligns, right? And then you could even go into Facebook groups and she could start like talking, not like, oh, look how great I am, but she could be like, oh, like for that sort of injury, I recommend this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, she even had she did something like that with, there was a video here that went viral with, about the different bad conditions of tracks around the different college campuses.
Yep.
And she gave her input, and then that just blew up because it was like, oh, chiropractic doctor specializing in sports gives her input on the bad conditions of tracks.
Yep.
And then she did a little bit of an update where she says, this track got redone recently and it's beautiful. You can go try,
Yeah,
and that
that's
also
great.
kind of blew up a little bit.
You guys are way ahead of the game. You're just a little bit light on, so you're missing TikTok, you're missing YouTube or whatever. You're missing one of them, and then the service pages are a bit light. And there's probably some stuff you could do with your Google Business Profile. But I only have time. I want to keep it for an hour. I don't want to. Only ever going to do an hour, guys, and then we'll call it a day. Does anyone else want to take a look? You're the last one, final one. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I genuinely appreciate it. And that goes for everyone still on the call, info@senditrising.com. If you want to send me pictures of your corgis, that's fine. You can send me pictures of your greenhouse where you grow legal plants like cucumbers and tomatoes. Right? Potatoes, stuff like that,
Right.
That's fine too. You could send those over. Any other thoughts or questions before we wrap it up?
If there was one thing we should research as a takeaway for homework, should we just keep looking at broader GEO?
Honestly, like what's annoying about me is like, everything I say is homework, right? So like just based on what we talked about today, it's just like an unbelievable amount of work. But here's more, because that's just the reality of being good at anything, right? Is you should really look at, it's called Google Flow or AI video generation, because Google Flow, because in those first 3 seconds, when anyone is creating any sort of video content, shorts specifically, if for example, the short starts and it looks like I'm like a late night show, but I have my desk, but I'm on a meteorite, right? And I'm like careening towards the earth and I'm talking to you, but from a meteorite, and then it's going to hit like San Juan, Puerto Rico. And then I like bump and I accidentally hurt someone. They're like, oh, my leg. And then I turn and it's the doctor who's going to like readjust the person I'm talking to. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that video isn't a little bit better. It's just a billion times better than, oh, hey, I'm really good at this because I'm a doctor and I can like help you with this problem. Do you see what I mean? So AI video generation allows us to basically create whatever we want. It sucks right now. It's not great. It's like there's a lot of things about it that aren't perfect. But if you don't start practicing now, you're never going to get good at it. And so we do a lot of AI video because it can turn shorts into really beautiful pieces that might actually get some views. Annalisa's little emoji game is on point. I saw a heart, I saw a little teary eye face, and a 100. So hashtag Annalisa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
See you later.